Hey YouTubers, well I got another video review for you today. So this one here is going to be a brush cutter string trimmer from a company called PROYAMA. You guys have seen me review a lot of their outdoor power equipment through the years, and so they just come out with a new trimmer here. This is a model PBC 254. So when I received it in the mail about a week ago, thing come in a huge box, and this box here was inside of that. I threw the big one away, and I haven't got a chance to review it till right now. And I'm sorry if there's some wind noise. We're expecting some tornadoes and storms today, so just bear with me. But anyways, this is the first time I've opened it. Don't know really anything about it other than that they asked me to do a review on it. It's not a scripted review, not a not something phony. Literally, I'm just doing it as I take it out of the box, and then we'll crank it up together and we'll use it together on video. We'll just see how good it does, and I'll let you guys know. But so far I've been pretty pleasantly surprised with all the PROYAMA stuff. You get a lot for your money. They seem to always try to take care of you, give you a lot of extras, and price it right where you're not paying the big box stores prices for lawn equipment. So it will save you some money. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and get started. It says that it has a steel shaft, an EPA 2-cycle engine, a 17-inch string trimmer, and it has the easy load line, kind of like the Echoes do, where you stick the line in and twist it. And then it says included is a trimmer head, a 40-tooth blade for brush cutting. It's made in China. It says right here on top of the box that is a 50-to-1 oil mixture. It says look before you pump. You can use ethanol up to 10%, but truthfully, if it was me and I had a choice, I wouldn't put ethanol fuel in there. I'd run ethanol free fuel in there, and that's just me. I don't want to deal with carburetor issues or it eating the fuel lines up and all that. Yeah, so anyways, that's just what I'm gonna do. All right, so I went ahead and cut the tape on the top and the sides. You got a box here that's sealed up. I'm gonna set it aside. You see there's the trimmer head right there, and this is one of the type of ones that has the attachments that comes apart in the middle, where you can put different types of attachments on here, like the trimmer head or a brush cutter, and you can add hedge trimmer, just whatever attachments that you got that'll work with the PROYAMA. Sitting here and I unboxed this thing, and the box had the motor part of it mounted off to the side, and I thought it was broke. I was like, oh crap, this thing's broke. I've never seen a weed eater trimmer come like this, where it was the motor was detached from the shaft. And I guess there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I guess should be able to bolt it right up, but I've just never seen this before. I guess this is something new. Maybe they were able to put the motor over here in the box to save a little bit of money, so the box wasn't so long. I don't know, but that's just the way that it come out of the box. And like I said, it had this other box here. I just cut the tape on it and briefly glanced in there. So we're going to go ahead and kind of pull some of the stuff out of here and just look at it as we go. So you've got a little mixing bottle here. Then you've got a scrunch, and there's your bolts and an Allen key and a little wrench. So pretty much all your tools and the bolts to bolt it up is in there. And then you got the trimmer guard for the trimmer line, so it don't shoot out too far and throw rocks. It's just a guard. Then you got your manual and your warranty card, I'm sure. And then here's your handle that mounts on the shaft. Then you've got a trimmer head, and it already comes pre-spooled with some line, and you can see right there. You've got this blade. You've got some line here. This is 2.4 millimeter by 15 meters. You've got some of the PROYAMA 2-cycle engine oil, 50-to-1. There's that. It's a red looking oil. Looks kind of like very similar to the VP Racing oil or the Red Armor oil by Echo that I use. Then you've got this strap here. All right guys, so like I said, the power head and the shaft comes in 2 separate pieces. So what you'll have to do is bolt them together. And so I told you had a bag full of tools and stuff, and so you've got 8 bolts in there with some washers. And what you want to do is pull the 4 of the larger bolts out, and those are the ones that will screw into the power head right there, as you can see. And then just take and just kind of bolt it up. Now you're gonna have to put it together just like that. Just join the two pieces together. As you can see, I've just got it resting up against my leg. I'm gonna try to get these started. All right, so I ended up just setting it long ways up off my knee. That way I could kind of twist the shaft a little bit and get it lined up with the bolt holes there. And they all screwed down in there without stripping. No problems so far. And like I said, they give you an Allen key, and then I'm gonna start tightening them down just a little bit. And then for my final tighten, I'm gonna do them like in a star pattern, like you would some lug nuts. I went ahead and got these 4 bolts tightened up. Now, I didn't really see anywhere in the manual where it give a specific torque rating for these, so I just tightened them up till they felt tight, like they wouldn't come back loose. But again, I didn't go, you know, crazy with them and try to strain myself trying to tighten them down, because after all, that is, you know, some sort of aluminum alloy, and I didn't want to break it. But I gotta say, it does feel very secure on there. To be honest, that's the first time I've had to bolt one to the a shaft to the power head, so that was new for me, and I didn't see any problem with it at all. Like I said, they probably, you know, did it to save on cost for shipping or something like that. I'm not real sure. Now you've got 4 more bolts left right in here, and some more Allen keys. There's 3 Allen keys, and then what you're going to do with those bolts is you're going to take and you're going to put them right here into the guard. You're going to take the guard, and you know, it'll come with this piece, and then you'll have this piece on the shaft, and you can see this little metal piece is already bolted to the side of the head right here. And so what you want to do is just take and lay that piece in there like that, and then you'll take the bolts and they'll screw into the guard. They've got little nut inserts into that plastic housing, and that's how they screw in. And then once you get these all started finger tight, then you'll, like I said, you'll go back with the Allen key and tighten all 4 of these up. And I said that they're put in there with nut certs, and they are, but I don't want you to think that it's put in there cheaply. You see the nut certs, I don't know how well you guys can see that. They're brass nut certs fixed into that plastic, and they're wide. The nut is actually wide down here, and then up as it goes through the plastic, it narrows down, so it's not going to pull through the plastic very easily. So they did make the guard to where, you know, it's going to last, you know, and not just those metal nut certs are going to just pull through the plastic. They actually thought about it, made it to where, you know, it's going to fit in there securely and not just pull through. All right, so I went ahead and tightened the trimmer guard down, and you can see right here it's got a little cutter on it. So if the line gets too long, then it'll cut it and keep it from hitting into the side of the guard. All right, so one thing I wanted to show you, if you're not familiar with weed trimmers and brush cutters, is they give you a little scrunch tool, and so you can use this end to pull out the spark plug, or this side to pull out the spark plug, whichever one fits. And then on this side, you've got a Phillips head bit on the end. And so what that's used for is this screw right here. You can loosen this up. And why you would loosen that is because that's where you grease the trimmer head. And so if you've never done that before, I would suggest, you know, doing it. It'll make the bearings in the trimmer head last a lot longer. And so they do make little tubes of grease that can thread on to this hole right here that I'm unscrewing that bolt. Or you can use a little grease gun, stick it in there, a little grease gun, and grease it yourself. And you just squirt a little grease in there and rotate the trimmer head, the little bolt here on the end of it, as you're greasing it. And once you can't put any more grease in there, then you just put the bolt back in there, and that keeps everything nice and lubricated in that trimmer head. All right, next you want to locate your handle for the trimmer here, and then you've got 4 screws that fit down in there. I'm gonna go ahead and loosen these up and remove them, and then I believe that this fits right over this rubber isolator piece here to prevent, you know, vibration and stuff. And we're gonna go ahead and put that on, so stay tuned. All right, guys, so that was correct. You know, this piece of plastic housing fits right around this really thick piece of rubber. I mean, that's probably almost a ½ inch thick piece of, you know, soft rubber, and it just fits right in there, so it can't slide forward, it can't move backwards. And so by the time you put the screws in there, you know, this thing's gonna really cut down on vibration. I can tell you that. All right, so you can see I've got the handle bolted on there onto that rubber piece like I showed you, and I can say that without even starting it, I can feel that flexibility there in that rubber piece and the flexibleness in that handle. So you know, when they make it flexible like that, it just helps cut down on some of the vibration from the motor and the shaft spinning and the trimmer head spinning and all that. So it just helps, you know, make it more comfortable for you. So that's pretty much all I can do right now on the power head. Next, I'm going to go ahead and move to the trimmer head and show you how to install the blade. So when you get it, it'll have this little locking nylock nut here on the bottom, and there'll be like a metal cup. And the way that you go ahead and remove that is you take, and you can see right here, and there's like a little notch on the side of this piece here, and inside that notch there's a hole that fits into the head of that trimmer. And what you'll do is take the medium size Allen key and you just slide it inside that notch and insert it into that hole right there. And what that does is it locks that piece there from being able to spin. And then you'll take your scrunch here and use the larger side there. You just take and put it on that nut and unscrew it. And so this little Allen key that I'm using just basically keeps it from unscrewing while you're trying to unscrew it here with the wrench. And once it gets loosened, you can just remove it by hand. But you'll need that little scrunch to initially remove it because it is tighter than finger tight. And then see, got your lock nut there. You set that down and go ahead and pull out the Allen key. And then there's that little metal cup. You'll set it aside. And then next, you've got this washer here. You want to go ahead and remove it and set it aside. And then you'll notice right here, you've got this little raised lip. And it's a little round area. And what you'll do with that is you'll go ahead and set your blade on here just like that. And you can see that it's machined out just for that blade to fit right in there perfect. Then you'll take this really thick washer, set it on top. Then you'll set your little cup, and then you'll put your locking nut on there. And keep in mind, to tighten it up, you'll turn it counterclockwise. All right, now to tighten this up, you're just going to repeat those steps. You're going to take the Allen key, the middle size one, stick it in that little grooved area like I showed you before. And once you get it in the grooved area, then that'll hold it in place while you tighten the nylock nut up there on the end. So since I don't really have any brush around here to cut, but I do have some grass, I'm going to go ahead and put on the trimmer head. So I'm just going to take it back off. I'm going to show you how to take it back off. It's very simple. You just remove the nut, remove the little cup washer here, then remove the thicker washer, remove the blade. Alright, so if you're not using the brush cutter, I recommend to take and put me like a zip tie through the washers and the nut and run it through the blade, and that way you have it all together when you need it and you don't have to hunt for it. And you know, to go ahead and throw the string trimmer head on here, it's very simple. Now that you've got all of the components basically taken off, all but this piece here, then what you want to do is just take, and you can see the hole through the notch right there now where you couldn't see it before. You want to take that medium size Allen key, stick it through the hole there just like that, and then you want to take your string trimmer, and you see it's got threads on there. You just slide it on there, and instead of going to the right, you go back to the left and go counterclockwise to tighten it up. You just sit here and twist it, and it's very, very simple. And then once you starts getting tight on you, just remove the Allen key, and very simple to operate. So this one here is supposed to have the bump head on it, where you hit it on the ground, the string pops out, and then when it's time to add more string to it, then you should be able to just feed it through, and and tighten, twist the head up, like on you know, on some of the other equipment, like the Echoes have it. I think it's called a speed feed head, but yeah, it works really good. I have several of the speed feed heads on some of my Echo trimmers, and they work really well. So we're going to test this one out today as well. So you know, that's one feature that I like about it, because that saves you from having to pull the head apart in several pieces and wrap the string in there. Basically, if you can slide the string through that hole and twist this, and it tightens the string up around the spool on the inside, it's about as easy as really anything. There's no other trimmer head out there that's faster than the speed feed type heads, so this one should be good. I don't know till we try it. So anyways, now I'm going to go ahead and remove the little rubber plastic cap here off the end of the tool, and it just slides off. And it's good to keep these, and that way if you're not using them, you can keep some sort of cap on there, because there is grease and stuff on the inside. And so we're going to go ahead and connect this to the power head here, and you can see right here you've got a shaft that comes up through the center of that power head, and then you've got the mating shaft on the other side that just sits just like this in the middle. And then you've got this little pin that you pull out. It's a little quick connect spring-loaded pin. You just slide it in there like that, and then you've seen that pin catch and fall into the hole. Now this thing is locked in place, and it can't be pulled out or pushed in or twisted, but there's a little bit of play in it. You can see right here, right down there, there's a little bit of play. Well, to get that play out of there, you just turn this handle, and it tightens the little clamp up here on the bottom. You can see there's a little slit right there. That little slit tightens up once you turn the handle, and now that play that was right in here before, no more play. It's completely solid, and this is the same type of attachment that my Echoes have, that I bought years ago, and you know, it's the same thing. And so this works great. Shouldn't have any problems out of that. So next we're going to go ahead and mix up some gas and oil and go ahead and see how this thing runs. All right guys, so I wasn't going to open this whole thing because I don't really need a lot of 2-cycle gas right now, but this is what they recommend using. I already had some of this mixed up with some gas. This is the Red Armor. When I'm not using this, I use the VP Racing oil. Yeah, I'll link this in the description down below if you want to check that out. And then also I double checked on the trimmer line size, and it's the 0.095, so it is a pretty large size. You know, the next step down is the 8.0, which is pretty tiny, but this is the 9.5, which most of the stronger weed trimmers use this size here. So when you run out of line, check out in my description down below. I'll show you guys what I use on mine, and I'll link it in the description below as well with the oils. And I'll also put the gas trimmer down there if you guys want to pick it up. I am an Amazon affiliate, but again, that doesn't hinder this review in any way, shape, or form. You know, like I said, it's down there if you're interested in it. If you're not, then that's, you know, it's totally up to you guys. But so far, I've had good luck with my PROYAMA stuff. I've done the couple blowers and brush cutter and different types of trimmers from them, and I've been pretty happy so far. And so we're fixing to start this one up and see if this one does as good as the others that I've got. So stay tuned. All right, so I'm gonna read it off right out of the little quick start manual for you guys. So right here, you want to take and push the start button. It slides. You want to push it to the back, because when you push it forward, that's what stops it. All right, so next what you want to do is you want to mash this little lever down here, and then you want to squeeze the trigger. And then once you do that, then you got this little button right here. You just mash the button forward, and it holds both of them down for you, so you don't have to sit there and hold them. That's really cool, because I can't tell you how many times I've went to crank it on the ground, and it's kind of hard sometimes, depending on what position you're in, to hold this while cranking it at the same time too. So that's neat how that locks it. All right, next you'll go right here to the back of the motor, and you'll see right up underneath the carburetor, right here at the fuel tank and the filler, you can see there's a primer bulb up underneath there, and it says to mash it 10 times or until the carburetor gets filled. So there's once, twice, 3, 4. I'm gonna do 5 times. And then next it says to raise up on the choke lever, and then to crank it, we're just going to set it right here, and I don't have to mess with the throttle. All I got to do is just pull the handle here on the back. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but I'm going to go ahead and pull it a few times. Oh, there it goes. That was on the third pull. All right, so I noticed that it started and then it died, and so now I'm just going to take that choke lever and mash it down and try to start it. There you go. Now, first thoughts, it started up really easy, and you've seen I went ahead and turned it off. I'm gonna try to start it back again. Let's see if it starts back. But it took it a few seconds just to warm up, and I noticed that it smoothed out. Now, I will say this first round of gas that I put in it, I put in 89 octane, ethanol free, and I did mix it a little bit heavy on the oil, just because it's new. It's never been run or broken in. So anyways, we're going to try to start it again. Went ahead and pulled the control in the back position, in the start position. Now we're just going to pull the string, see if it starts. Alright guys, you've seen it started right up, and I cut it off. It started up again. So we're going to take this thing out in the yard and run it a little bit and see how good it cuts down some grass. So anyways, I just wanted to say I went ahead and put the shoulder strap up here on my shoulder, and it's got some good padding in it, and then it snaps in place right here on this little piece on the shaft. And then next I've got it set to the start position. I'm gonna see if I can start it with it back behind me with the strap on there. There we go. So here we go guys, we're just gonna try it with just the PROYAMA string that's in it, and we're gonna see just how strong it is. So stay tuned. So I gotta say, it seems to run really good, as you can hear, and it's got good power. It seemed to cut that down pretty quick. Now it can cut faster than I can walk because I've got gout in my feet, my hands, and all this kind of stuff, and I'm on medication, so I can't move very swift like I used to. So, but so far, it seems to run good. Like I said, it runs better than I do. So there was one little problem that I had to go back and lengthen the strap a little bit because it was a little too high up on me. So I lowered it down a little bit so I don't have to hunch over. And so now we're just gonna try to start it again, and we're doing this as a test to see, you know, if it doesn't start, if it gets hot and stuff like that. And like I said, you know, This ain't just some powder puff review. We're gonna actually review it and show, you know, it's starting and stopping, and you know, that's just real world on a weed eater. So anyways, we get it set to the start position. There you go. Starts really good too. Pretty good, guys. Very powerful. Seems to be really powerful. I'm fixing to do this little patch of really green grass, and I'm going to show you guys that the bump feed does work on the trimmer head. I've already used it a couple times, but I just wanted to show you that it does work. Now it's already got some trimmer line out there, but I'm going to make it a little bit longer, and then you'll hear it having to be cut by the guard there. So just wanted to show you. Watch this. I'm going to show you how to run it out there. You can see how much more line is out there. And for the most part, you don't really have to mess with it. I've had to tap it a couple of times, but you know, it works really good. It feeds it out there really good. They've really improved on the trimmer head design for sure. Honest with you, probably a little harder on outdoor equipment than most people, just simply because, you know, I live out here in the country, and you know, yard ain't no golf course. So when I hit the weeds, knock them down, I try to get them all the way to the ground if I can, because I don't care if they come back. And so a lot of times I'll scalp the ground, and you know, I don't mean to always get that close, but a lot of times I do. And you know, out here in the country, we deal with a lot of fences, wooden fences and T-posts and all this kind of crap. And so, you know, you got to have a trimmer that'll stand up to it, and especially a trimmer head that won't break. So just wanted to show you. I want to put it through like a little torture test here on this metal T-post and just see if I can't do a little beat down on this thing to show you that it is, you know, strong. It's just not some Chinese junk, you know. So we'll go ahead and start it up, and here we go. I'm gonna put a little string out there first, get the bump feed going, get it nice and long. Watch this. see I've had to bump feed some string out several times. You know, I will say this ain't the best string that they put with this weed trimmer, but you know, if you put some better string with it, it'd perform a lot better. Some of the, you know, stuff that's got the sharper edges, where this is more, you know, rounder, the sharper edge stuff would probably cut a lot better. So you can see that, you know, it's got barely any string out there right now. Again, I'm going to go ahead and bump it on the ground, show you just how good this works. The trimmer head, watch this. I bumped it twice, and you can see it brought it right back out to where it needs to be. And that's perfect right there. And I'm going to go ahead and torture it again out there on that T-post. Watch this. You can see right there, I took that string way down. Like I said, it would probably benefit if it had some better string in there, but it's not the weed eater's fault. That weed eater works good, but check this out. I'm going to show you again how good the bump feed works. I cut it out a little bit too far long that time, and you hear it. It cut on the guard there. It cut it down to size. Watch. There we go. That's the perfect length. So, yep. Pretty impressed with it so far, guys. Trimmer line, and so I'm going to use what they provided. And like I said, I'll probably get some better trimmer line, you know, if you want it to last longer. But what I do is take my arms and hold them out just roughly, not measuring it out. I just take a knife or a pair of side cutters, and then I cut the trimmer line. And then you've got this little small piece of line here. I'm going to set it aside, and then I'm going to make sure that you can see that right here on the bottom of the trimmer head, you got a line here and a line here, and those lines fall in place with the little piece right here where the line comes out, the trimmer feed. And so one way that you can tell you got it in the right spot is you can look through here, and if you see light on the other side, then you know that your trimmer line will fit through there. And so next, what you want to do is just take your trimmer line and make sure it's straight, because if it's got a little bit of a curve to it, it won't always work. So we'll have to bend it up till it gets straight, and then you'll take and you'll just slide it in here just like that, and then you'll see it comes out on the other side. And then you want to take and do about half on each side, just like the Echo one, very similar. And then once you get half and half on each side, then you just start twisting. You can see right there, I've already got quite a bit of the line twisted in, and there you go. You just twist the little black part here on the bottom, you just twist it clockwise, and it just takes and twists that line around those inner spools, and you don't have to get your hands dirty taking it apart or none of that. But that's how you put the line on there. And just wanted to show you guys how easy it is. Like I said, it's very similar to the Echo, and seems to work just as good. You know, I can say I've got I think it's the SRM 225. I think I've got a think it's a SRM 210, or I think it's a 210. Yeah, I've got several Echo, I think 3 total Echo trimmers that I've had for a long time, and so I know all about them and how to use them. And so yeah, works very similar. But you know, I gotta say, this PROYAMA seems to be really good. It's a lot more budget friendly on your wallet compared to a lot of the newer trimmers that they get out right now, and just seems to work really good. Like I said, I've used several of their power equipment, from the blowers, the handheld blower, to the backpack blower, and the brush cutter, the trimmers, and also there was something else I can't remember right off. But the PROYAMA just seems to work good, and it's cheap, and it just works good. You can buy it on Amazon, and you know, check out my affiliate link down below. This is not a long-term review, but I can say all the other PROYAMA stuff that I've got still runs. I still use it. And so anyways, appreciate you guys watching. Hope this video was informative to you, and until next time, please like and subscribe, guys. See ya.